How do you stop your kid from playing video games in class? Well, we're talking about that today on Tips on Teens. My name is Kent Toussaint. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I specialize in helping kids, teens, and families live happier lives. I lead two organizations, Teen Therapy Center and the nonprofit 501c3 organization, Child and Teen Counseling, both here in Woodland Hills, California. Every Wednesday at noon, I jump onto Facebook Live to answer your parenting questions. Let's jump into today's. My 14-year-old son always plays online video games on his school computer, sometimes during class or while he does homework. We figured it out when we checked his browser history. We tried telling him to focus on finishing his homework, and then he could have 30 minutes free time, but it didn't work. We could install a monitoring software on the computer, but we really hope he can control himself not to play online games during school or homework. Someday, we won't be able to control him when he goes off to college. What should we do now? Thank you for your question. I think it's a very popular question among parents. I talk to parents about this all the time. So first, I want to talk to you about, first of all, video games. There's nothing as fun as a video game. And I say this a lot, but it's really worth repeating. There is nothing on earth as fun as a video game. So when your kid is sitting there and he can either do his algebra or he can go play video games, it's so much easier to go play video games, again, because he has a developing prefrontal cortex. What is that? It's part of the brain. It's right here behind the forehead. It controls what we call the executive functioning of the brain. Impulse control, emotional regulation, the ability to see cause and effect, all the things that makes up a mature, responsible adult. Well, that is just developing when you're a teenager. So it's not fully wired into everything else. What's really at full strength in the brain at 14 is the limbic system, which handles like primary emotional stimulation, anger, fear, excitement. It's at full throttle. So imagine your kid's brain, the limbic system is a herd of wild buffalo stampeding through the plain, right? And the prefrontal cortex is a little old man with a stop sign. He may want to stop the stampede. It's just really hard to do it by himself. He's going to get run over. And so that's why when you go into his room and you see him playing Minecraft, you say, "What are you doing? I told you not to play Minecraft. Do your algebra. Why are you doing this?" He says, "I don't know," because he doesn't know. He didn't think about it. He really doesn't know. And much like us, we're all impulsive too. I'm impulsive. I don't know about you, but I love ice cream. Anybody here love ice cream? I love ice cream. If I have ice cream in the house, I know I'm going to eat it. Not only am I going to eat it, I'm going to eat the whole pint because I want to get out of the house faster, and which makes me want to go buy more ice cream. So for me, if I don't want to eat ice cream, I don't have ice cream in the house. Therefore, I can't eat it. I got to find something else. So with your son, you may need to invest in that software monitoring or limiting for his computer because he's not going to be able to control himself. And also 30 minutes afterwards, it's like nothing. 30 minutes in a video game is a blink of an eye. Now you may argue, hey, that's enough, that's too much, whatever you want to argue. But from his 14-year-old point of view, 30 minutes is like nothing because all his friends are probably on for hours and hours. I'm not condoning that. I'm just pointing out a reality in our culture. So you may need to have some bumpers around him because eventually he will go off to college, but he'll have a more developed prefrontal cortex and he may have more direction and more purpose in what he wants to do, and he may be able to monitor it more easily as a young adult. No guarantees, but the 18 or 19-year-old version of your son is going to be more able to control his impulses than the 14-year-old one is. So I think you need to talk to him about what motivates him, what he feels is fair with video games, find a reasonable middle ground of when he can play video games and when he cannot. And when he cannot, you have to have some kind of monitoring mechanism to make sure that he's not. So if you have this monitoring software, you have to have a real concrete plan that you guys made when you were calm and rational of how to proceed. If you don't have a plan and you find him on Minecraft, you're going to blow up and you're going to have a big argument and it's not going to go anywhere well. You have to make sure you have a plan that you made when you were calm. And make sure your son has a voice in this plan. If you just throw an edict down, he's not going to follow it because he doesn't care. Make sure he has a voice, make sure he's heard, make sure he has some kind of a spoon in the pot so you guys are all stirring in the same direction. Anyways, that's our question for today. I'll be out next week, so I'll see you guys in 2 weeks on Tips on Teens. Again, my name is Kent Toussaint. from Teen Therapy Center and Tips on Teens. If you want me to answer your question in 2 weeks, email us at tipsonteens@teentherapycenter.com, or you can direct message us right here on Facebook. Keep your questions coming. We love them, and I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.